Hey everybody, welcome to guided assignment for chapter 6. For this one, we're just going to go through with this what we call a schedule of cost of goods sold. You can see the breakdown of it is that there's 3 columns for purchases, and then 3 columns for cost of goods sold, and then 3 columns for inventory. And we create these just with a perpetual inventory record each time we buy or sell goods. In real life, this is done by computers, but doing this helps us sort of see how our assumptions for our costing assumptions are going to work out. So we're going to do it first using first in, first out, and then second using last in, first out, so we can see them kind of side by side. So the first thing we have here is that our inventory at January 1st is 3,900 units. At $41. At means that's what they cost us. So I'm going to go ahead and put 3,900 and a cost of $41 a piece. And then my total cost will just be oh, I'm sorry, I did that in the wrong place. This is my starting inventory up here. Sorry, so 3,900 at a cost of 41 a piece. And then I'll multiply those out to get the total cost. So mine is $159,900. Then on April 19th, I sell 2,700 units. So here in the cost of goods sold area, I'll put 2,700 units. And the cost of the units I'm selling is really important. And in this case, all I have is units that cost me $41. So my unit cost will be $41. And my total will just be the quantity I'm selling times the unit cost. 2,700 times 41. I'm sorry, I keep putting things in the wrong columns, so don't hate me forever. And then my remaining inventory is going to be the amount of inventory I had before the sale, 3,900, minus the amount of inventory I have after the sale. So 3,900 minus 2,700 means I should have 1,200 units left in inventory, still all at a cost of $41. So my total cost will be 1,200 times 41, or 49,200. On June 30th, I make another purchase. So I buy some more units from whoever my supplier is. So 4,500 units at $45 a piece. So 4,500, 45, and then I multiply those to figure out the total cost. 4,500 times 45 is 202,500. And now my quantity, you can see there's actually 2 rows here. The first is going to be the quantity I already had from back in April 19th. So that was 1,200 units at a cost of 41 a piece, a total cost of 49,200. And now I've just added 4,500 units at 45 for a total cost of 202,500. So we like to keep these separated by when they were purchased. So we know our oldest units are listed first, and then our newer units are second. So now on September 2nd, when we have a sale of 4,900 units, we know which ones to assume we sold. Remember, we're using first in, first out, which means we assume that we're selling the oldest units. The first ones that we brought into inventory are going to be the first ones to go out of inventory. So if we sold 4,900 units, we only have 1,200 of the older units. So we'll assume we sold all of those. And then the remainder of those 4,900 units we sold must have come from the newer units. So to figure that out, I'm just going to say I sold 4,900. 1,200 of them were the older units. So 3,700 of them must have been the newer units, or the ones that cost me $45. And then 3,700 times 45 is 166,500. So our quantity now remaining, we've sold all of the older units, and we've sold 3,700 of the newer units. So 4,500 minus 3,700 we still have 800 of those newer $45 units sitting there in inventory. 800 times 45 will give me the total cost of those units sitting in inventory. On November 15th, we purchased 2,000 more units at a cost of 48. That's $96,000. Probably could have done that in my head. Sometimes you just get used to doing it on the calculator. So now our inventory after that purchase will still have the 800 units that cost 45. And the 2,000 units that we just purchased that cost 48. So our total cost now here on cost of goods sold is going to be the sum of all of these costs, because cost of goods sold is an expense and it's measured for the whole period. So this would be our cost of goods sold for the whole month. It would be 110,700 plus 49,200 plus 166,500. It gives us 326,400. But for our inventory, because it's an asset, it's just going to be our inventory as of the end of the month. So as of November 15th, we had 36,000 plus 96,000 in total cost of our inventory that's sitting there. And since we haven't purchased or sold any since November 15th, it's going to just be the sum of those two. In other words, what's the cost of our inventory that's sitting there at the end of the month, or at the end of the year in this case? All right, so there's all our numbers. We'll do a check to make sure I didn't make any arithmetic errors, which is very possible, but I didn't. And then we're ready to move on to the next one, which is kind of the exact same problem, except we'll be using last in, first out instead of first in, first out. So again, we have our starting inventory, 3,900 units at $40 per unit. So the total cost is 156,000. Then we have a sale of 2,600 units. Again, no question of the cost because these are the only units we have. So these are the $40 units. That's 104,000. Remaining in inventory, if we had 3,900 and we sold 2,600, we now have 1,300. Again, at a cost of 40. So 1,300 times 40, 52,000. June 30th, we purchased 4,300 units at a price of 44. Our total cost, 4,300 times 44. So now in our inventory, we have the 1,300 units at 40 that we already had, plus the 4,300 units at 44 that we just purchased. On September 2nd, we sell 4,900 units. So now we're back to our question, well, which units did I sell? And in this case, we're using last in, first out. So we're going to assume that the most recently purchased, the last purchased units are the first ones we're selling. So we're going to assume we sold all 4,300 of these plus 600 more of these. So I'll go ahead and say 4,300 at 44, and then another 600 at 40. So how much do we have left? Well, we sold all of these, and we sold 600 of these, so we must have 700 of them left. On November 15th, we purchased another 2,100 units, this time at $47 a unit. The total cost of that is 98,700. So now we have the 700 units at 40 plus the 2,100 units at 47 we just purchased. And now we should be good to do our totals. So again, cost of goods sold is the total of the whole column. So I got 317,200. And then for the asset inventory, it's just going to be whatever that inventory is at the end of the month, which is going to be 28,000 plus 98,700 or 126,700. And that should be right unless I made an arithmetic error. We'll check it. Looks like we're all good. And that's it. So hopefully this one isn't too hard for you. And if it is, if you're struggling with it, don't hesitate to email me or text me, and I will do my best to help. Good luck.